Hello everyone and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft. So, as you can see, there is a new anvil, and there's still the glitchiness. It's funny that it's leaving the one, it's leaving the sword. Everything else flickers but the sword. Anyway, so it's a wrought iron anvil, although it says stone anvil, but I think these all sit. That's apparently a rose gold anvil. Right. So Witten finally got enough iron to make this wrought iron anvil. He also made this wrought iron hammer. I'm saying wrought iron very harshly. And he's got this little bloom. Just a little guy. A little bloom. Bloom bloom. So he's got it down here. Which is quite handy. And he did a good job here on the stairs as well. He adjusted the stairs slightly. And actually, I just noticed now that he finished the wall. Oops. You saw nothing. Anyway. So, I kind of wanted to apparently not leave the house. Or not leave the door. I wanted to start working on my house, except I have no idea how... Why am I going up? I have no idea how I want to build it. But I know where I want to build it, which is just over here. I picked this plot out a little while ago, and by plot I mean tiny little island. Ta-da! I flattened it out. Lit it up. Apparently a spot there and there. So I want to build a house here. I just don't know exactly how to go about it. I'm almost thinking of following the terrain. That could be interesting. It's becoming dark. That could be a very funky shaped house. So let's do that. I will make the base out of some stone. I'm sure of that much. But what I wanted to talk about today was call centers. Everybody's called them. Nobody likes them. Some people even work in them. I sadly was one of the people that worked in one. Well, I've worked in a couple. If you've been around for long enough, you probably know that I've talked about working in call centers before. What the hell am I doing in here? But I don't think I've talked about this particular one. And it's... Do we have a crafting? We do not have a crafting. Sad. Alright. Mortar time. So, I have an interesting view of call centers. For example, I would rather hang than work in another call center. But I also have a lot of respect for those people that do work in the call center. I'm not sure if that was my cat wailing or not. And yeah, I used to work at a company called Cytel, which some of you might be familiar with. And some of you might like them. I don't know why. My experience was not so positive. When I worked there, I actually worked on an HP account, as they called it. Essentially what it was I was in charge... Well, I wasn't in charge of anything. I was a member of a team that troubleshot and repair printer problems. It was one specific printer, and it was a bit of a piece of shit. The printer itself was actually pretty good. Unfortunately, HP has made kind of a name for themselves on shitware. They can't make software to save their frickin' lives, it seems. When I worked there, it was 2007. Well, 2006, 2007. Which was right when Vista was being released. Which, that's kind of annoying. And I was actually talking to Witten and Dweebish about this earlier today. And that's kind of what brought me to think about talking about this. Where we used to have Windows 2000 on our machines. This is when everybody and their brother is running XP. And we're still running Windows 2000. It was kind of harsh, especially since we're in a technical support. We deal with everybody and their brother sometimes. And a lot of these people don't know what's going on. They do what they're told, and that's it. There's no thought. Getting some lag here. Or I'm just moving faster than it wants to. And I can't fault them. But this place was so fucking backwater. We had Windows 2000 in 2007. It was a joke. It was an absolute joke. We would get a call. This is before the whole Windows Vista stuff. We get a call and people are on XP. So they expect us to be able to tell them about XP. Well, we can't because we don't have it. And unless you're one of the few people that have memorized every location in Windows XP for everything, all you have to go by are these pathetic excuses for knowledge records, which they were bad. They were tremendously bad. Like, outdated crap. Nothing useful about them at all. It was a joke. It really was. And I never quite melded, I guess. I don't know what to call it. I really don't. Huh? I never became one of the clique. And to be honest, I'm actually okay with that. That place, from day one, it was harsh. Just, you walk in there and it has the atmosphere of a morgue. Just nasty. Like, you don't want to be there. It's just, you can tell that nobody is happy. Nobody wants to be there. Everybody's just miserable and just bleh. It just brings everybody down. And then you get, and it's probably caused by the management, that aside from not having the slightest idea of what they're actually doing, I'm not going to do the full corner. Do this. they're lazy. They just want you to do... They want you to do everything so they don't have to. Which, okay, sure. I get it. Your management, that means that you can afford to be lazy, I guess. I don't tend to buy into that. If you're management, you should be pretty much able to do everything. That's my whole thing. Which, honestly, is wrong. And I know it's wrong. Why did I break that? That was not hurting anyone. But this place, like, when I left, and I'm kind of jumping around, but this is how I do things. I'm not a good storyteller. When I left, I left on a moment's notice. It was not a good leaving. I did not leave on good terms. I was not happy with the place in the least. I felt that I was going to hang myself with the cord for the phone if I stayed there for another day. It was that bad. I was just not a happy camper. Not at all. So, I ended up leaving. I walked in there an hour before my shift, handed them my letter of resignation, and bang. Here you go. They were a little shocked. They were like, you mean, like, because my letter of resignation said effective immediately. They were like, now, right? Like, you're not working till the end of your shift, like, now. Like, yeah, like, this second. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. So, they made me sit down at my desk, which I learned I had a new computer. This was significantly later in the year. It was a fabulous Windows XP machine. Which, honestly, I can't fault them for going with it. Like, I know Vista was not good. Vista really wasn't. I liked the direction they went with Vista, but I didn't like Vista itself. I felt they could have done a lot better. I should have probably made more of these bricks. But I'm only doing the 2 high for the bricks. But that's not really what I'm getting at with this. Essentially, what I want to say is I have dealt with call center people on both ends. And most of the time, if you're calling them for something, any particular reason whatsoever, and you're frustrated with them, you shouldn't be frustrated with the person you're talking to. These people are just doing their jobs. Like, when I was hired, I specifically asked, is there going to be selling? Are you going to require me at any point in time to sell a service? And I was met with a resounding no. We do not sell. This is a technical support line. Well, a couple months after, it turned into, oh yeah, you have to try to sell this extended warranty. I was not happy about that. Like, I was only there for a few months. Well, actually, I was there for 6 months minus a day. And that was part of the reason why I quit. I was there for 6 months, and I was actually still waiting for my 3-month review. But, anyway. Ultimately, what you want to do when dealing with these people, and I'm fully aware that there are people there, there's people in all of these businesses, I guess you could call them, that are assholes. They are plain and simple assholes. No beating around the bush. They will treat you like shit because they think that they're the greatest thing ever. I have one piece of andesite. And honestly, it's okay to be pissed off with them. I have no qualms about that. But if someone is trying to do their job, you should let them. Like, every one of us has probably had a call center experience where they're trying to say some inane bullshit that we don't care about, that doesn't have any... It has no pertinence to the problem that we're calling about. Like, they're trying to ask about, you know, your cell service when you're calling about, you know, I don't friggin' know. I really don't friggin' know. I should have got my shovel. God damn it. Or... do I want this on the sand? Yeah, I want this on the sand. So I'm going to be doing it like onion. Oop. So don't automatically rip on them. Don't, when they're giving their closing statement, because that's what it is. It's a closing statement. Thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. You know, we hope you had a wonderful service, blah, blah, whatever bullshit. Don't just hang up on them. This quartzite, no, that's quartzite. That is the worst thing I can think of you doing. Because ultimately, these guys, they're being graded, essentially, on everything that they do. And what you do affects them. And that is really quite disturbing when you think about it. Nobody likes to be shit on. Actually, I kind of like that. Looks really weird. So, my main suggestion, if you're dealing with a call center, let them finish. Let them do what they need to do. Don't interrupt them. I don't care how pissed off you are at the product. I don't care anything. It's their job. They're just trying to do it. After that, if they're being dicks, pff, by all means. But remember that depending on what you're calling about, these guys have the power to make it happen or make it not happen. So my suggestion, be nice. Be friendly to them. Don't piss them off. You'll get a lot farther with honey than you will with vinegar. Unless you're playing TFC and making cheese. Yeah, that's all I really had to say on that. So, yeah, just be friendly to your friendly neighborhood call center agent. And a lot of times, if you're going to be on the call for a long time, like I used to do this, we would actually bitch about the product. I was not particularly nice about... Oh. That's not right. I knew I had a different one. Quartzite. There we go. Like, I had one... This wasn't a bitch about the product time, but one of the problems, I think I mentioned this prior. I had one... I swear she was a little old lady. She was probably like middle-aged. What is this? Limestone. Probably middle-aged, you know. Mid-30s. Mid to late 30s. Early 40s, maybe. But to this day, I will know her as an elderly lady because it makes the story that much better. One problem we had was HP didn't like to send out technicians. They were cheap. And this one product, or the one printer, was all about breaking. It was shit. And this one issue is it would actually change its type. Oh, I do have more siltstone. There was two models of the printer. The difference was a card reader. One had a card reader, one didn't. And when it changed its type, it would change it to... well, when it would change its type, the cause was the card reader either malfunctioned or the ribbon cable that connected the card reader to the board fell off during shipping or something. And the fix was relatively simple. Unfortunately, it was not the most user-friendly of fix. You had to get the client to open up the machine and kind of take it apart. It was... No, this isn't where I want that. Getting all sidetracked. So this lady, normally what would happen is you'd be like, yeah, this is what we need to do. And they would say, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Because you literally had to get them to get a screwdriver. It's totally going to break soon. Open up the side of the case. Right? No. Wow, I'm just totally screwing this up. I need to get more quartzite. I need more quartzite. This nice is not gonna do it. Anyway, let's put this down. Oh. Hi, sucker. So yeah, you had to get them to open up the side. This little old lady was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. I got a screwdriver right here. What do I need to do? So I was taken a bit aback. I was just like, what? You're actually willing to do this? This is not normal. Because officially, from HP's point of view was we were really pushing that they do this. Pushing... Oh, nope. We just wanted to push them and make sure that they did this. From our point of view, we're like, we don't want to deal with this bullshit. So, yeah, we're gonna half-ass it. Now, the problem with that is we would get shit on, like, the agents would get shit on if HP ever quality'd a call like that. But, whatever. It was a minor offense. But, this lady, she got the screwdriver. I told her where all the screws were. Oh shit. Oh shit. Told her where all the screws were. She took them out. She popped the panel off like a champ. And we fiddled around with the cable. She got it in. It was already in. So, yeah. We did our little test. It didn't change a fucking thing. And this was the first time I'd ever actually done it over the phone. I've done it myself. Like, we were trained... We were actually better trained than the technicians that were sent out to work on the machines. It was ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. But, yeah, I walked her through it. It didn't work, so I had to send someone out there anyway. Which, to me, was fine. I would have preferred to just do that from the get-go, but, you know, there's only so much you can do. Woo! Stupid monsters. Stupid monsters. Gonna go swim. Yeah. Some interesting things have happened at that place. Just weird little support stories. We were trained to take apart this printer and put it back together. There was one part on it that was a color laser printer. That's... Oh, we're gonna bounce. No, not bouncing? Okay. So this is a color laser printer, and it used a carousel system, which most of you probably know what a carousel is when it gets right down to the nitty-gritty of it. But you might not think of it the same way in computer printer lingo. Why am I coming over here? It really is the same. It's just... Think about a Ferris wheel, but instead of holding people, it holds printer cartridges. And this is how it printed. Well, this carousel would go out of alignment. This was a notorious problem with it. And it would print... It would end up printing on the... let's see if I can remember exactly what it was. It would end up printing on the, I believe, right-hand side, and the left-hand side was faded. If it was reverse, it was a different problem. But if it was the left-hand side was printed and the right-hand side was faded, I think. I could be reversed. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's been years since I've touched this printer, even really thought about it. That was a carousel problem. And I was one of the few people that actually, like, this was optional, where we could go and realign the carousel. Mind you, we did it on, you know, a broken printer. So the only way to know whether it worked was to eyeball it. But I did it. I was one of the few people that did it. And it was actually really easy to realign the thing. It's stupid easy. You line up the frickin' markers. Well, what did I need? I actually need more of this, too. Let's get rid of this nice. Don't friggin' want it. Need limestone, smooth stone, and... crap, what was the other one? Quartzite. Don't know where quartzite is. Anyway. So, the carousel we happily aligned. Jesus. Got nothing. I got a call because part of our job was to make sure that people, like technicians that call in, could get the job done. So we had to walk them through actually fixing the machine. Which, needless to say, is a little bit weird when you're helping the technician do their job that they're supposedly the experts at. But whatever. So I walked him through it. He couldn't figure it out. I was actually really lucky at that point because I was working on a printer. I had one of the spare machines beside me. So I was quite lucky with that. Actually, I don't think I need that. Yeah. So, yeah. I feel I was really lucky. And he couldn't get it done, so he had to send it off for replacement. Which, really, he should have done anyway, to be honest. Because apparently replacing the carousel for these guys is like a 90% failure rate. And half the time it's because the technician just has never done it before. Didn't know what to do. Has never been trained on it. Because I sound like I'm shitting on the technicians, but I'm not. These guys, they have to do all the different printers. What did I come up here for? Oh, right, new pick. Pick mold. So these guys have to do all the different printers. So they're not trained 100% on all the printers. They're only trained on some of them. Or I guess they're trained on all of them, but I don't know. I don't really know what their training is. I should stop talking about their training because I don't fucking know. We had to deal with one printer. So we were trained thoroughly on that one printer. And that one printer was what we knew. So we had the advantage there. But it's interesting how much of a failure rate that thing has. But I know part of it is because you're at the client's location. And that kind of fucks with you. I've done on-site support before. Or on-site service, not really support. And it fucks with you. Especially when you've got the client just staring over your shoulder. Like, some people can't work like that at all. Like, they need to be in their own little box by themselves. And I actually like to have them there. As long as they're not, like, overly scrutinizing, I guess. You can ask what I'm doing, but don't constantly ask. And don't ask in a tone that makes me think that you're going to question what I'm doing. Do it as a curiosity. And I'll love you forever. If you genuinely want to learn what I'm doing, you and I will be best friends. If you just want to sit there and make sure I'm not fucking up your shit, you and I are going to have problems. But anyway, I should probably stop talking because I have been babbling for a while. I don't know how long this is going to be, but yeah, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about things that have happened in my call center days back at the Sigh of the Tell. in the next episode. Anyway, thank you all for watching. You guys have a great day. Take care.